Would you mind sitting down? You're making me nervous.
Oh. It's funny. You're the expectant father, and I'm pacing up and down. But I've been pacing the exact spot where you've done it so many times.
No, that's the spot I always use over there.
Where? Oh, yes, I see. Where the carpet is worn out.
Reverend, why don't you sit down and relax? When you walk around like that, it makes me feel you're worried about something. Are you?
Huh? Me worried? Oh, of course not. Sam, how's your back?
My back? Oh, it's fine. Never felt better. Reverend, sit down and relax.
Huh? Oh, all right.
Well?
Mrs. Bowman just woke up. She says she'd like to have you come in and sit with her.
Oh, okay, Miss Nancy. It's awful nice of you to come around to help like this.
Oh, I'm glad to, Mr. Bowman. Daddy, what's wrong? You look more worried than Mr. Bowman.
I am, Nancy. I went way out on a limb getting Bill Brackett to take Mr. Bowman back on the job when he was convinced that his so-called bad back was just an act. Now, Bill is due here any minute, and when he sees Sam acting so chipper, he'll be positive he was right about him.
Why should you worry? Mr. Bowman's the one that ought to be worried.
Well, evidently he isn't. All he can lose is his job, and that's no novelty to him. But I'm going to lose the friendship of Bill Brackett. What's more important, because of me, the church is going to lose all the help we get from him. Oh, he's just pig-headed enough to make an issue of a thing like this.
Was Mr. Bowman putting on an act?
I don't think so. If he was acting, he did a good enough job to win an Academy Award. What's so fast and so suddenly his backache couldn't be real, and yet... I don't know.
Daddy, listen. All you have to do is ask Mr. Bowman to make believe his back hurts when Mr. Brackett gets here. If he's such a good actor, that ought to be easy. Isn't that a good idea?
It's a great idea. I thought of it myself 10 minutes ago. I can't do it, Nancy. I can't ask him to feign an illness. That would be asking him to lie, and I can't do that.
Well, I know, Daddy,
and neither can you.
Gee, people get real backaches so often. Why couldn't Mr. Bowman get one?
Nancy.
Well, I just meant for a few minutes. You get one every time Mother asks you to move the furniture around. Even before you start.
Now, Nancy, I don't want to talk.
She fell asleep again. We were talking about a name for the baby. Just girls' names. We don't even want to think about boys' names.
Why should you? You've used them all up. Sam, how's your back?
Fine. Reverend, as far as my back is concerned, you got nothing to worry about.
That's what you think.
Oh, Daddy, why don't you go out and take a walk? The air will do you good.
Yes, maybe it would.
Oh, and if you walk east, you'll probably meet Mr. Brackett on his way here.
I think your daughter's got a good idea there, Reverend.
Horace Greeley had a better idea. I'm going west. See you later.
Mr. Bowman, with a new baby coming, you'll need more space in the house, won't you?
Yeah. Well, what about it?
Well, I think you ought to rearrange the furniture.
You think so?
Oh, of course. Besides, your wife will like it. Women love to have their furniture rearranged. Now, let's see. This should go over there, and that piece there should be in this corner here.
Okay. There. How's that?
Oh, fine. But look at the marks you made on the floor. Instead of pushing the furniture, you ought to lift it up. Now, try it with this.
The piano?
Oh, of course. It should be over against that wall.
Well...
Oh, did you hurt your back?
My foot. I dropped the piano on it.
It's a shame. Well, let's just push it against the wall here.
Okay.
Oh, was it your back?
My hand. I mashed it against the wall.
Well, anyway, the piano looks fine there. Now just move this big armchair next to it. Better lift it.
Okay. Miss Nancy.
Yes?
It'd be easier for me to lift this chair if you'd get out of it first.
Oh.
There. Now, what's next?
Well, this might look better over there, Mr. Bowman.
Okay. Miss Nancy, This is the steam radiator. It's bolted to the floor.
Sheila, I hope you haven't strained your back or something.
Oh, no, it's fine. Excuse me. Hello? Oh, Mrs. Watson. What about Billy? Oh. Well, I can't leave here. You call your doctor, will you, Mrs. Watson? He's there now? Good. Thank you.
What's wrong, Mr. Bowman?
Billy, it looks like he has the measles. Oh, my back!
What did you say?
My back, it's killing me.
Oh, come in.
I couldn't walk very far.
Oh, Daddy, we've got the most wonderful news
The
for
baby's
you.
arrived?
No, Mr. Bowman's back is killing him. Oh, of course not, Daddy. He's doing it of his own free will.
Oh. But is he faking?
I don't know. He heard that Billy come down with the measles and his back started to hurt.
Oh, well. Who am I to look a gift horse in the mouth?
Excuse me. Yes? What did the doctor say, Mrs. Watson? Just a food rash? Oh, well, that's wonderful. Thank you, Mrs. Watson. Goodbye. What a relief. Nothing's wrong with Billy after all.
Your back seems all right, too.
Yeah, sure. Oh, I forgot to move that couch where you wanted it, Miss Nancy. I'll get that out.
Well, hello, everybody. Hello, Sam. I want to congratulate you. Sam, what are you doing with that sofa on your back?
Oh, my back is...
Brack, I don't suppose you'd believe Sam is doing this as an exercise to take the kinks out of his back, would you?
I would not. Sam, put that darn couch down. Ow, not on my foot, you idiot. So, your back was hurting you so bad you couldn't operate your drill press at the plant, but it doesn't keep you from picking up a 300-pound sofa, huh?
But, Mr. Brackett, my back doesn't hurt anymore.
It never did. Bowman, you're fired. And Charlie, you know how you and I stand.
Yes, I know.
Well, I'm getting out of here.
Just a second, Brack. What about the layette you bought?
I'm going to keep it. I'm a married man, too, you know.
Oh, gee. I'm out of a job again. Oh, my back.
Oh, keep quiet. It's too late. Brack, I'm glad you came back here. You won't be sorry.
Now, look, Charlie. I just came here because of our long friendship. Even then I wouldn't have if your wife hadn't called me.
Well, the important thing is you're here. Now, Sam...
Oh, cut that out. You sound like Gorgeous George in a headlock. All right, Charlie, what's this all about?
Well, I got to thinking about the funny way that Sam's backache comes and goes for no apparent reason. So I called Dr. Ainley here. Doctor, this is Mr. Brackett.
How do you do, Mr.
How do you
Brackett?
do?
Dr. Ainley is a psychiatrist.
I'm glad. Because if you think you're going to get me to change my mind, you should have your head examined.
Maybe I should. But let Dr. Ainley handle this. It won't take long.
You'd better not. I've got no more time to waste.
Mr. Bowman, will you come here, please?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bowman, what brought on your most recent attack?
I don't know, but it was right after Mr. Brackett fired me. Mm-hmm. That is the second time he fired me. That is the second time today he fired me.
I see. Can you remember any other occasions when you got these attacks?
Oh, sure. I was telling the Reverend here that they always seem to come when there's trouble. When Martha's having a baby or one of the other kids is sick.
There, you see what I meant, Dr. Ainley?
What is all this mumbo-jumbo anyway? There's nothing wrong with this man, I tell you. I had our company doctor give him a complete physical checkup, and there's nothing wrong with him.
That's just the point, Mr. Brackett. There is nothing wrong with him physically. His illness is mental.
Mental? It's his back, he says, hurts, not his head.
It's an illness that's not very common, but it's not unusual either. We call it psychosomatic.
Well, what?
Well, that simply means that while his pain is imaginary pain, to him it's just as real and hurts just as much as physical pain.
Huh?
Right, Doctor?
Well, in effect, it could be the patient's imagination.
There, you see, Brack? Now, will you give him his job back?
I don't have to. Why not just let him imagine that he's got it back? He's so good at it, he can probably imagine himself a paycheck every week.
You're being sarcastic.
I am not. You're expecting me to swallow all this psychological double talk, and it don't make sense. Why does he get these attacks of imagination, anyway?
As a defense mechanism.
Hmm?
You see, they only come when he has other worries, and they serve the purpose of distracting his attention from those worries. When his trouble is over, his backache disappears. I can show it to you in any textbook, Mr. Brackett. Believe me, I can quote you chapter and verse.
Don't. I do that at him every Sunday. Well, what do you say, Charlie? You going to be stubborn about it, or will you give Sam back his job?
Well, if the doctor... Oh, all right. I guess I ought to have my head examined, too, but he's got his job back.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Brackett. Hey, the doctor's right. Now I got my job again, my back doesn't hurt anymore.
There, you see, Brack?
Excuse me, gentlemen, but you've all been so busy about Mr. Bowman's backache, you've forgotten Mrs. Bowman. She needs her doctor.
What?
I'll call him.
She needs a doctor right now.
Dr. Ainley, you're an MD. I guess you've got yourself a job you didn't count on. Do you mind?
Not at all. I'll take care of everything. Now, don't worry about a thing, Mr. Bowman.
Hey, wait a minute, Doc. Are you sure you can? You know, Martha ain't like me. Her trouble ain't imaginary.
Just relax now, Sam. It'll all be over in a short time.
Gee, Rev, with the new doctor taking care of Martha, I'm worried. Oh, my back.
Well, Mr. Bowman, everything's over. Your wife and the new baby are both doing fine.
Oh, wonderful. Gee, that's great.
This is a silly question to ask, but how's your back now, Sam?
It's fine. No pain at all. Tell me, Doc, is she a pretty little girl?
Mr. Bowman, your wife had another boy.
Another boy? Oh, my aching back!
We'll be back with the Reverend Parker and his family in just a moment. In homes all over the country, everything stops but the laughter when it's Jack Benny time. Jack, fresh from his triumphs at the Theatrical Friars Club, is still riding for a fall at the hands of his own cast. You can be sure he'll get it when Mary, Dennis, Rochester, Phil, and Don go to work on him. Enjoy Jack Benny time tonight and every Sunday night on CBS Radio. And remember, those lovable rascals Amos and Andy are here every Sunday. Well, it's a few hours later. Comparative calm has returned to the Bowman household, and Sam's backache has left him, at least for the time being.
Rev, you're right. The most important thing is that Martha and the baby are both well.
Of course it is, Sam.
Still in all, I must admit I was a little disappointed.
I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't, huh?
By the way, Sammy, where were you during all the excitement?
Me? Oh, I was out selling tickets.
Huh?
Tickets for what?
Well, for the first look of my new baby brother.
Hey, wait a second. You mean to say you knew all along it was going to be a boy?
Sure.
How did you know?
Us kids voted for it, and the majority rules.
They voted for it. Well, I'll be
No, you won't, Sam. It just proves one thing. There's no system that can beat good old democracy.
It's Always Sunday stars John Stevenson as the Reverend Charles Parker, with Colleen Collins as Mrs. Parker and Nancy McCullum as Nancy. Featured in the cast were Will Wright as Mr. Brackett, with Bob Sweeney, Harry Bartell, and Stuffy Singer. Music was by Cookie Fairchild. The program was directed and transcribed by Norman MacDonald. I'm Roy Rowan. It's Always Sunday was created and written by Frank Fox and Jesse Goldstein. This is the CBS Radio Network.